Good morning. It's Marg from Creative Stamping with Marg. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Alberta, Canada. This month, I'm focusing on using up my DSP. These will still be easy layouts to do, but I know all of us have lots and lots of DSP to use up, so I thought that's what I would focus on this month. Today, we're going to make a card using a 6x6 piece of DSP, and I'm using the Sweet He's All That. That's the stamp set. And He's the Man DSP. So I have used it before in my videos. It makes wonderful die cards. So I will show you what we're starting with. We are starting with a 6-inch by 5.5-inch piece of DSP. So you've cut off just a 1/2 inch off the bottom of your DSP, or side or top or whatever. Then you're going to score it at 1/2 inch here and 4 3/4 inches here. Now I've already done that with mine. You can see it here. The small fold, the 1/2 inch fold, is going to be folded to the back. You have to decide first what the front of your card is going to be. Are you going to see this, or are you going to see this? So that's the decision you have to make, and you have to like both sides of the DSP in order for this to be a good looking card. All right, so I've decided I want this to be the front of my card. So I've folded back the 1/2 inch piece and burnished with my bone folder. The other flap, this part right here, we're going to fold to the front. And that's what I mean about liking both sides of the DSP, because you are going to see this piece on the front of your card. Okay, we'll burnish that. Now, just a bit of a caution, because this is DSP, it's more lightweight, so when you're scoring and using your bone folder on it, you have to be careful that it doesn't crack. So don't score it heavily when you're scoring, however you score it. All right, that's going to be the front of our card. Just as easy as that. The back of your card is going to be your cardstock. So this cardstock is Sahara Sand because it matches the color that's in our paper. It is your standard 5.5 by 4 1/4. And it's going to go in the back like this. And we're going to attach that 1/2 inch piece, that little flap that we folded back, that is going to be glued onto the back of our card. So our card is going to look like this when we open it. So we can do that first. I'll bring in my silicone mat, and you can use liquid glue or you can use your glue runner, whatever works for you. You know I'm a liquid glue person, so I've got my Tombow here. So I'm just going to put glue just along this flap to glue it to the back of my card, like that. Now when I do this, I put the card in, and I stand mine up so that I know I'm at the right height, and I push it all the way towards that fold, like that. So it's even, you can't see that Sahara Sand there at all, and I just press this down. So there it is, glued on the back, just like that. All right, so there's our card. Now, just to finish it, there's lots of different ways to finish it. So I've got some ideas. I will mention that this is a fold that I saw that Rachel Tessman, she's a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from the United States. She demonstrated this, and I thought this is a brilliant way to use a 6x6 piece of paper. So I thought I would share it with you guys. Now, the next thing that she made this suggestion, you have some, this is other pieces of DSP from that same package of He's the Man. So I chose coordinating pieces, 1/2 inch strips by 5.5, and you can glue them to the edge of your flap here, like this. And I thought I would use 2 colors, and you just glue them to the edge of your flap, like this. Just however much you want sticking out. And then I'm going to put the brown one on top of that one like that, just to give the edge a little more interest. So let's try that. What I thought I would do is just put a little glue right here on this edge of my flap. This is the edge that you don't see, the part that's folded down. Then I'm going to put this rusty colored one, it's Cajun Craze, put it on first. And I want it just to stick out just however much you'd like, sticking out, try to make it even, like that, so that when I fold this back, there's going to be a little more interest to the edge of this flap. Now I'm going to put the brown one on. So I want the brown one to go like that. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on this edge here again. This is the wrong side. Just like that. Let me straighten this up a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to put this, I'll give it, this one's nice. It has this piece of DSP, I don't know if you can see it or not, has a line on it. So it made it easier to lay it down. Okay, so just like that. And then when I fold this back, there, it's a little more interesting than just this flap, just the way it was. So I like that. There's another suggestion. You can put, I'm going to be gluing this flap down. It's going to be glued flat down to the front of my card. But before I do that, we have faux suede trim, and it is in early espresso. And this is retired trinkets that we had, antique corners and slide elements. So I took one of the slides, makes it look sort of like a belt buckle, and I threaded it onto my ribbon, and I thought I might attach this along here. And again, just giving that some more interest on this card, because you know guy cards are hard to embellish. So I thought, oh, well, maybe this is the way I could do that. So what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of seal. If I can make it work today, there. Top and bottom on the inside of the flap. Like that. And I'm going to put this, and I think I'll center it. Just put it over like that, and it'll stick. The ribbon sticks to the glue that I put there. And then go down like this. Now, as of right now, I can move that slider wherever I want it, because I haven't done anything to it. I will secure it, I think, with a glue dot when I'm finished. So there's that. And I'm just going to secure that on the back, and don't pull it too tight or you're going to pull your paper. That looks pretty good. And I can decide when I finish up with this card where I want this slider to be. And I think that is very interesting. Okay, now I can put some glue on this inside flap and glue it right down to the front of my card. Just like that. That'll hold everything in place. All right. Perfect. I like the look of that. And it opens to the Sahara sand. All right. For the decorating of the front, I'm using, I said I was using He's All That stamp set. I'm going to make this a Father's Day card, so I'm using Wishing You a Happy Father's Day as my greeting on the front. And this set has dies that match, so I chose to use this die for the greeting. So I've already cut it out. There it is there, and it's really nice. It's got a nice beveled edge. So I'm going to stamp that. I've already got my greeting mounted on here. Wishing you a happy Father's Day. And I'm going to use Early Espresso ink. So just tapping into my ink, and I'll check to make sure it's dark enough. And put this on here. Straight down. Let the ink set in there a bit, and straight up. It's not as dark as I would like it, and it's a little bit crooked, so I think a good suggestion for this stamp set is possibly using the Stamparatus because it has nice thick letters and you could get it really nice and dark. I'm not going to worry about it today, but that is something that works really good if you don't stamp it exactly the way you want it. All right, I'm going to put this on the front of my card. Now I just have to decide where I want it. I want it there. And I've also, out of the die set, there's these interesting die cuts. So I cut some of them out. I'll show you on the white so you can see them. To me, they look like Argyles. So I cut some out of two out of Cajun Craze and 2 out of Early Espresso. And I thought I might use them to decorate the front of the card somehow. I hadn't really got it figured out, but I kind of like the way they look. And they might set that greeting off a little bit. I think I'll put the greeting, now I'm thinking maybe I will put those underneath this and put the greeting up on dimensionals, which I have here. I'm just not sure about these extra pieces. Yeah, I'm just not sure if I do want them or not, or do I want both? I was thinking of using some on the inside also. So, I think maybe what I'm going to do, this one I was smart with. I put it on the paper, our paper that we have that is sticky backed. So this turns it into a sticker. So I'm going to peel that off and put that right down on my card. And I think I'll put it right there. And then I think I will just pop this up with my dimensionals. And then I'll decide about this second one. I'm not sure. Maybe because it's the Cajun Craze, it kind of blends in a bit too much. I'm not too sure about it. But I'll put this, pop this one up and see what I think. So I put 3 dimensionals on the back. I just use my fingernail to bend the dimensionals a little bit, and they pop off a lot easier for me. Okay, so I'm going to put that there, just like that. And now I'm thinking, do I want this on here or not? Maybe I should move this silicone mat up here so you can see. Just don't know if I want that on there as an extra piece. I do kind of like it. So this one, unfortunately, doesn't have the sticky back on it, so I'm going to have to use my liquid glue and put a little liquid glue. However, it does have some larger spots that you can put glue on. And otherwise, you just put little dots on it. This is definitely a trickier one to put on because of it's a fine die cut. Okay, but it'll be all right. Okay, and then I think I will just put it right down here like that. I think that looks all right. Now, as far as this goes, I think I'm going to put a little glue dot behind it and maybe put it right about there. And that's the outside of our card, all done. Just get a glue dot and use my take your pick tool, which is right here, and pick up a glue dot off of my roll here. And I'll just kind of roll it up a little bit, and I'm going to just turn this over, put a glue dot on the back. Easier said than done. Maybe I will put the glue dot right down on the paper, right about there, and stick it down like that. So now it doesn't slide around and it secures the ribbon. So the ribbon's not sort of flapping. All right, so that's the outside of our card. That's the outside of our card. And the inside is like this. And you can write on this because it's a light color, so I'm not putting another liner in there like I normally would. But I did have these two argyle pieces that I thought I might decorate it with. So I thought maybe I'd just do that on the inside, and that'll give our card a little bit of pizzazz on the inside. I don't know what I want to write on the inside because I put wishing you a happy Father's Day on the outside. You know, I can put to the man who does everything, together for the long haul, depending on who you're giving this to. Every day with you is another adventure. Number 1. Holy smokes, you're amazing. Love this guy. Hello, handsome. So any of those would fit. This is the only one that says happy birthday. So I will peel off that paper off the back of that argyle one. And I think I will put it right here. Straighten my card on my grid paper so that that helps me have a visual here of where I'm putting things. Put it right like that, and then I'll bring my silicone mat in again and put a little bit of glue on this other piece. Just a few little dots on the little bits here, like that. And that still leaves you lots of room to write your message on there. And there's our card. Finished. So what a great use of that 6x6 piece of DSP. Both sides are pleasant to look at, so that's good. And opens like this, and it does stand. The DSP is sturdy enough to stand, so that's good. So there's our card for today. All right, I have a bunch more samples that I've kind of went crazy with this design after Rachel Tessman demonstrated it. So there's our card from today. Get rid of all my little things off my desk here so you can see what we're up to. All right. And this is, well, this card I made using the Dandy designs that came out with the celebration. So I'm still using that package of paper. Beautiful paper. Love both sides of this. This one says it looks like spring, and that came from Thanks a Bunch stamp set that was in Celebration. And I think this card looks like spring. I did use the retired large daisy punch, but there's the medium daisy punch that we have now. Added some ribbon to it and a few little embellishments, and it opens like this. Now this one, because I cut off a strip of the paper, remember, I have that leftover strip, so I used it on the inside. Isn't that a pretty card? So I love that one. Okay, this one came from retired paper, and again, you have to like both sides when you flip it over. This one I use circles as stitch circles, and I added some ribbon here, like I did with the card that we made today, and some embellishments, and it opens like this. Again, I used the strip of paper. Okay, so there's that one. Very different looking. Then I used the butterfly paper, which I still have lots of, and in that set you got dies that cut out the butterflies right from the paper, so I still had some of those butterflies cut out. I used a greeting on there, sending a card instead of a text. And this paper, the butterflies are on one side, and on the other side is Daffodil Delight and Calypso Coral. So I used the strips of Daffodil Delight and Calypso Coral paper next to the flap there. And that's that card. I didn't mention that I used some of the shimmer paper that we have on this one in the Fresh Freesia. Okay, that one and one more. This is very old paper that I still had a piece of. Really pretty flowers on it. I used hand-penned the dies from the hand-penned petals and cut out something like that, and a scalloped piece on that instead of just the straight strip. I thought that looked good, and I heat embossed the Just Thinking of You on this one. And then on the inside I used the contour dies and instead of a straight piece of white, and then one of the flowers die cut. So lots of ways that you can, jazz these up on the outsides. Check out your dies, anything that you have that you can cut out, punches. So there's so many ideas, but what a great way to use up 6x6 DSP. There we go. There's our card from today. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you'll give it a try. I know it's a great way to use up your paper, and I have a lot of paper lying around, so I'm going to be using this layout quite a lot. So hope to see you next Tuesday, and I'll have another idea on how to use up DSP. Thanks very much for joining me. Have a great day.